Test, test, test. All right, I think I'm just going to commit to doing this in one take. This isn't super duper scientific, so I've just got all these materials that I've amassed over the years: book designs, videos, etc., documentation of things. This image of the state was kind of a first idea that I had for a book, cover, for lack of a better word. You'll notice there at the top left, there are coordinates of each location. I thought that kind of gave a cool cartography component to this. Yeah, but I have this printer in my classroom at school, and it's fun to have students do similar book projects, anything they want to print. This is from a couple years later, 2023, I believe, so a little more updated. I did away with the coordinates. I'm a little torn on having the state image up top left with the dot. I think it's pretty satisfying to know, at least for the reader to know, where each of these pictures was taken, but I haven't quite thought this out very well. The captions were really added quick one night as a way to just show students what captions even are. So again, really kind of early version. I like to actually have this in my car when I go out and photograph for this project, just in case anyone asks. But yeah, InDesign and book designs are a lot of fun. So this next one, I switched to more of a magazine format, 8.5 by 11, and this, I guess is kind of just that same kind of feel, but just in a different format. I don't know. I'm not thinking I would ever do this. Just the gutter is so, prevalent. You're always having to bleed a picture across that gutter. I kind of like how it's compact, but yeah, this is so not complete. I think I just started this and probably never even printed this one. Um, Fast forward to about 2025. Yeah, I think this is from this year. This is kind of the most recent. I'm going to pause. So this is funny. I created this map, and so it's early 2025 when I made this book, or maybe it's the summer, come to think of it, early summer. Um, of course, there's a ton of text there. I would never put that in an actual book. But the image with the dots around the border there, it was a file that got updated, obviously, in the last couple months. I've gone up to the northwest corner. I've gone to the Colorado border. So a lot of those dots that appear in this book printed in early 2025, I hadn't even been to those locations yet. So the idea here is that the white lines are the border, and the red dot is where along the border that I shot. So a line along the bottom of the pages represents the Oklahoma border, and then a line on the right side obviously would be the Missouri border, etc. I have a lot of pictures that I've made since this project that aren't in here, namely the Missouri River. That could be its own video right there. But yeah, the Nebraska stuff, as I'm, looking at this, I'm remembering about Tim Schrag at the K-Stater magazine. I sent him a copy of this, and he wrote a story for the K-Stater magazine, and super cool. Just a great collaboration. This came out this summer, and it was really just awesome to see that printed so nicely. I think it came out really well, and super appreciative of his interest in the project. He's a big supporter. This would have been something that I considered sending to a gallery. I don't think I ever did. This shows my Steckline Gallery exhibition that I had in early 2024, and I'll go straight into that. I think that's worth talking about. March 1st was the opening. Shannon Johnston is just a wonderful colleague, friend, artist here in Wichita. She is the art department director at Newman University, and she also has some kind of role in arts and sciences at the college. I should look into that, but she entrusted me with putting together some kind of exhibition for the Steckline Gallery. And in all honesty, I had thought about reaching out to a whole bunch of photographers. I was thinking about doing a time-based exhibition. It just kind of crashed down on me, and I kind of ran out of time. And so I decided to do my own work. And I know that, I don't know, I guess I feel a little bit weird about that. But I'm glad that I did this. It was sort of a soft opening for the project. and it really put a lot of wind in my sails to continue. I think it was very well received. And, again, I'll definitely revisit that idea of a group exhibition. But the space is a square room. I had had an exhibition there before. Shannon does a really cool thing with inviting students. I think she calls it Art for Lunch. And you get to give a little talk, and that was a lot of fun. I have all sorts of insights that I would have shared comparing Kansas landscapes to New York City photography. The opening was March 1st. So, yeah, I had just gotten my new Intrepid Black Mark IV, and so I had that on display in the corner. A little obnoxious, I realize, but had a complete shock when my friend Craig Fritz showed up. He is just a college friend of mine. He showed up completely unannounced. He was just passing through Kansas and saw that I was having an opening, and he had kind of surprised me there. I had some colleagues from Andover High School there. This is Ryan Strasberg, who is responsible for getting me into photography in the first place. I should probably do a whole video on that, but again, like I say, really well received. Lastly, some of the videos that I've done. I used to think of this project as edge on, not looking in. This was from 2021 and was just the first 8 pictures that I had taken. I had gotten to all 4 borders of Kansas that year of 2021, put this together. The song you may recognize is Radiohead, and the name of the song is The Tourist. So kind of a nod to being a tourist in my own state. But yeah, I love experimenting with slideshows. That's a big part of my teaching. Is every Friday we do a slideshow. I love the slow dissolves. Here it's really elongated, so you do get the overlapping. I decided to take that overlapping and the dissolve in a very different direction on this next video. You'll see where I am utilizing blending modes. You're going to see all of the images stacked on top of one another, and you'll see that it's sort of like a peeling away. I would have created that video we just saw for social media, but this to me goes in a very different direction, and it has a very different statement. It speaks, I think, to sort of the contrast between industrial aspects and more agricultural. It has the feeling of peeling away layers of time, and you're just going further and further back into the past until you get to a point where, it's just the beginning. So I really like this. I think there's more experimentation to come from this. Not quite sure that I ever posted that anywhere, but it would have definitely been something that I showed to my students. Can't quite see what is coming up next. Oh, yeah, so this is a little technical explanation of how I did that last video. I call this stair stepping. A lot of people don't know that you can edit layers in Photoshop very much the way you would edit video. So I love working in that workspace. This was another thing, kind of a promotional thing I did ahead of that exhibition. Again, I don't know if I ever really put this anywhere. I'm now thinking of other things that I could include in this video, and I'll have to add those. I think last I have something I paid somebody on Fiverr to do. I think I paid somebody in the Czech Republic $20 to create this in Adobe After Effects. Trust me, I tried to do this. I know After Effects a little bit, but it's harder than it looks. You're going to see it play in reverse here, and I almost get seasick when I'm going backwards around it. So turning the volume down. Okay, this next thing you're going to see is sort of a lot of those previous things kind of all coming together. I had started thinking about putting together a YouTube channel last year about this time, so fall, late fall, December something I think was my first video, but I wanted like an intro montage to put into it at the beginning. So you're going to see footage of me talking very exasperatedly. One day in December of 2023, I had driven all the way out to southwest corner of the state, and I was tired, and I wanted to then go into all the vertical videos that I had done just driving and kind of just behind the scenes stuff. So that's what this is. And yeah, I think I'll end on that. So hopefully you've enjoyed kind of a look into how I've sort of sunk my teeth into all the various aspects of this project: print, video, exhibition, etc. Okay, I'm just at my wit's end after 8 shoots. In the wind, it's worse. Okay, goodbye. That's it. All right, done. I think I'm just going to post this, clean it up a little bit, but don't need to be spending tons of time on this video.